Hi, I'm Claire, this is Body Sculpt Pilates. Today we're going to do a basic introductory level Pilates workout. So this is ideal if you've never done Pilates before, if perhaps you're slightly more senior, or if you're maybe recovering from an injury. It's going to be focusing on the very basic level core control and mobilising the body. So the moves are quite simple and they're aimed at discovering where our core muscles are and aimed at creating control within the movement. So let's see how we get on. We're going to come down onto your mats. So just take the time when you come down to your mat to get yourself into position. We want our feet to be hip width, the knees are facing up towards the ceiling, pelvis is upright, and we've just got a nice soft curve in the base of the back. So you want to imagine like the pocket of air just sat behind your hips. So we don't work with our back pressed down into the mat. We allow the soft curve of the spine and tuck your shoulder blades underneath you so they're clear from your ears. Whilst in this position, just take a couple of breaths and we're just going to think about the core muscles that we're working. So we're focusing on the transverse abdominis, which is a huge muscle that wraps like a corset around the middle of your body, the TBA. And then we're concentrating on the pelvic floor. And these two muscles, we just want to softly try and get some activation whilst we're lying here. Take a couple of breaths just to focus yourself and just think about these two muscles. So we're lifting the pelvis, the pelvic floor, I beg your pardon, just like you're stopping yourself from going to the bathroom. It's that kind of sensation. Then the TBA is that same muscle that contracts if somebody points a camera on you and you want to scoop your stomach in. Take a couple of breaths to focus. Then on an exhale, we're going to lift one leg to tabletop. Exhale the leg up, so the knees sat just above your hip and your shin is parallel to the floor. Now a nice little check for you with this is you should just be able to reach your knee with your diagonal fingertips. If your hand is on your knee, it's too close to the body, and if you can't reach your knee, it's too far away, okay? We're going to keep that leg up. Take a nice inhale and you're going to exhale the second leg to join it. Now you should feel your stomach muscles activate when these legs pick up. It shouldn't be pulling in your back or be uncomfortable. If it is, move your knees a little bit closer to your body. If it feels really easy and you can't feel your stomach muscles at all, move your knees away a little. Take the legs down one at a time and we're going to just do a couple of rounds of those. Inhale to prepare, exhale to float the leg up. Now concentrate on trying to keep nice soft shoulders, lift your second leg. Keep pulling down these stomach muscles, and then the legs come down one at a time. We're going to do one more round. Taking a nice inhale, exhaling the leg up. Inhaling, exhaling second leg to join it. As the legs come down this time, we're going to take our hands and just place them behind the head, just to support the neck. Elbows nice and open. We're going to come into a little ab curl, so we're going to draw our chin to our chest, looking towards the knees and flattening down the abdominal muscles. Now I don't want you to feel like you're pulling your head up with your hands. It's your stomach muscles that are lifting your upper body. And then we roll it back down. Pilates is quite hard on the neck. So sometimes if you're just starting out, it's nice to just allow your hands to support your neck so there's not too much pressure on it. Roll it back down. Going to do one more, chin to chest, compress abdominal muscles. Now if you're feeling okay in your neck, you release the arms down by your sides. If at any time your neck gets a little tired or feels a little strained, just pop your hands behind your head. Let's do one more. Little inhale, exhale, curl up. And roll it back down. Okay, next move we're going to do is we're going to take ourselves into some heel slides. So I like to have my hands on my hips as heel slides because we're thinking about this basic core connection. So we're pulling down the stomach muscles as we exhale one leg away and we're just keeping the heel in contact with the ground. Now what you're focusing on is that the other leg is not wobbling around. We're then going to swap legs. We're going to exhale the left leg away, pulling down the stomach muscles. Then you're going to inhale the leg back. Just think about the pelvic floor as the leg comes back. Exhale the other leg away. I'm going to pop a little stretch in. I'm going to take my toe to the ceiling, then I'm going to draw the leg back. Let's swap sides, stable in your hips. Exhale away. Remember, this is the basic core control. A little stretch in the leg and draw it back. We're going to pop a lift in now. Exhale the leg away. Think about your stability in your hips, so you're concentrating as you lift the leg, keeping your left leg or your other leg nice and still. Bend that foot down. Let's swap sides. Exhale away. Lift the leg, stabilise through the side and rebend. Take a little break. So very nice soft warm up. We're now going to bring our knees into the chest, into the knee hug position and get ready for our first Pilates move. We're going to do the one leg stretch. We're going to start nice and gently. So drawing one leg in towards the chest, I want you to straighten the other leg out. So we're thinking about the length of the straight leg, working out the hip, and we're thinking about a little bit of mobility as we just hug this knee in. Take a breath here, and we're going to exhale to change. And change. Now, if this feels quite nice and you're happy working at this level, you can stay here. If you want to make it a little harder, you roll your chin to your chest and we work the one leg stretch here. So like I was saying at the beginning, if your neck feels a little tired because you haven't done any Pilates, just pop your head and neck back down. If not, we're going to stay here. We're going to have 4 more. Nice and steady, just working into that hip socket, extending the leg out. 2 more. 1, 2. Bring both knees in, rest the upper body down, allow the knees just to hug into the chest. We're going to pop them back down and take ourselves into a full body stretch. So this stretch is lovely if you want to stretch out your stomach muscles. You just lengthen your fingertips to your toes, take a little breath here, create a nice bit of length, and then come back to your neutral spine position. So thinking about all those checklists that we had at the beginning, this time we're just going to draw our feet a little bit closer to the body. Think about the stability in your feet. So the feet are nice and spread on the mat. Knees are upright, hips are upright, and we're going to take ourselves into a pelvic tilt. Very small, subtle move. It's a great move for thinking about your core connection. So you're going to take the base of your back and you're going to roll it down into the mat. So you're pressing your base of your spine into the mat, which just curls up the tailbone a little. In this position, just think about pulling in your stomach muscles and just lifting your pelvic floor. Take a couple of breaths and then just allow the hips just to roll back to their normal position. Let's do that again. Roll the base of your back, press it down into the mat, just thinking about the pelvic floor, pulling down your stomach muscles. This is a great exercise if you've just had children. Make sure obviously you've had your 6-week check-off from your doctor, but if you have, and you're wanting to just start to come back into your exercise, I'm going to do last one. This is just a great move for finding that pelvic floor and just getting a little bit of activity there. So when we come back to neutral this time, we're going to release the hands down and we're going to peel up into a bridge. So we're going to start lifting from the hips, 1 vertebrae at a time, rolling the spine and plucking it 1 vertebrae at a time up and away from the mat until you're on your shoulders. When you're at the top of your bridge, make sure your knees haven't opened out, that they've stayed in alignment. And we're going to roll it back down. Control the descent, don't just drop your hips. And take a breath. We're going to do 2 more plain bridges, and we're just trying to get lots of movement running through the spine. If any part of your back feels a bit tight, just work on that on the next one. It's a really great mobility move. It's also very good for just waking up and activating your hamstrings and your glutes. And take it back down. Lovely. Okay. Draw your knees into your knee hug position. So again, just a nice little bit of mobility through the back there. Nothing too strenuous. Give your hips a little rock if you want to. When we put our feet back down this time, we're going to concentrate on our shoulders for a moment. I want you to take your arms up to the ceiling, so your hands are just above your shoulders. They're not over your face, they're over your shoulders. Then just be aware of the connection of your shoulder blade down into the mat. Your hands are shoulder width apart with your palms facing. And we're just going to lift one arm up towards the ceiling, releasing the shoulder blade from the mat, but still keeping the head down and soft. And we place that shoulder blade back down. Lift and stretch the other shoulder blade. Place that back down into the mat. Now think about how that felt. Did one side feel a little bit tighter? If it did, just do a couple more on that side. If it felt okay, try lifting both shoulder blades. You almost feel like you're trying to take something off the ceiling. Can you get the same height between the fingertips? Then control as you place the shoulder blades back down. Let's do that again. Lift both hands, reach up to the ceiling, separate those shoulder blades and softly place them back down into the mat. We're now going to take the arms overhead and you're focusing on keeping this rib on both sides closed around your body. So as the arms come over, you need to pull down your stomach muscles. Then take it back up to the ceiling. So what we're not doing, I'm going to do a bad one now, is you're not taking the arms overhead and letting your back arch and your ribs lift. I don't know if you can see that, I hope you can. If you have a look at this next one, we're going to try and keep the body exactly where it is. So as the arms come over, I'm pulling down my stomach muscles. I'm not letting my back arch. Inhale it back up. Let's have one more try. Open up. We've got 3 joints running through our shoulders, so there's lots there that can go wrong. So do give them a bit of attention. Take the arms down by your side, and we're going to come onto our side. Okay, so when we're working on our side in Pilates, it's important to make sure that your legs are not behind your body. So you want to make sure that you can see your toes and that the toes are stacked. If your toes are nice and level, the chances are your hips are nice and level. You're going to place your head down on your arm. Now, if that's not comfortable, you can just cradle your arm in your hand. If it's still not comfortable, get a little pillow and just pop it on your arm so you've got a little bit of support there. Your other hand you're going to take and just place about half a foot in front of your chest. Now, this is your stabiliser, okay? We want this shoulder and this hand to be nice and still. Then you're just going to bend your bottom leg. Now, if you're a little bit more advanced, or perhaps you've done this a couple of times, keep that leg straight as it'll be more challenging. But for today, we're just going to bend that leg a little. Set your neck straight so you're not looking down at your body. And we're just going to have some simple side leg lifts. So we're doing a couple of things here. We're working the ligaments in our hips. We're also checking our balance. So I don't want you to feel like we're wobbling around. Your stomach muscles should be pulling in. So they're holding you nice and secure. I'm going to do one more. Now we're going to take the top leg to hip height. So not too high, just literally level with your hips. You're going to exhale and take that leg forward and inhale and take it back. Now really small kicks to begin with. Don't do a huge kick and wobble. So I want you to feel that your shoulder's still, your back's not arching, and the pressure in your hand is fairly level. So I'm going to show you a bad one now, if you like. When you kick forward, what I don't want is for your back to arch and your shoulder to collapse. When you kick the leg backwards, I don't want you to fall forward in your hip. So we're trying to stay nice and level. There's quite hard work into the hips. So only kick as far as you can control. Let's do 2 more. Exhaling forward, inhaling back, last one. After that one, just bend your knees in. It's a nice little stretch. Bend the knees in, take the hands in front of you, and then just roll that top arm up and over. And we're going to come into a little supine twist. I've got to be careful of the mirror, but you should be able to open out nicely. Take a breath here, and then close it back up. Let's have one more. Inhaling, exhaling the arm up and over, and it's a lovely rotation through your waist, really opening up over the heart, which is nice. And close it back. Okay, we're going to come on to our fronts. All right, when we're working on our fronts, we want to think of keeping our spine nice and open, so we're not compressing any vertebrae. To do this, with any exercises you do on your front, you need to be looking down. The minute you look up, you can see what's happened to the back of my neck. It's squashed the vertebrae. So you're going to come down onto the mat, you're going to place your forehead down on the mat and your arms down by your sides. Soften your shoulders down. I hope you can hear me okay, talking into the mat. Nice and soft. Legs are going to be about hip width. We're going to take an inhale. As you exhale, just activate your fingers towards your feet. Lift your head, neck and shoulders up away from the mat, but keep your chin tucked in. So you're lengthening through the spine. Imagine somebody's just tugging the top of your hair. Then we're going to take it back down again. Soften your shoulders. Inhaling, exhaling up to lift. So what you don't want to be doing is looking up and compressing the back of your neck. So keep looking down and lower it back down again. Fully soften. We're going to do 2 more. Exhaling up and lengthening. So you'll feel these muscles right down the side of your spine, right at the bottom working. Take it back down. Last one. Inhaling, exhaling, lifting. Big stretch of the fingers towards the toes and lower it back down. Lift up onto your hands and we're just going to open the back of the spine up. Just have a little child's pose. Then come up onto all fours. Right, so, excuse me, quick outfit shuffle. Right, so for our 4-point kneeling, we want to have our hands underneath our shoulders. A little way you can check that they're in the correct positions, you shouldn't be able to lift up your middle finger. If you can, the chances are your hands are out in front of you. If you can lift them up and your hands are under your shoulders, you might be double jointed or your elbows might be bent. So as a rule of thumb, if you're not double jointed, you shouldn't be able to pick up your middle finger. Then your knees are underneath your hips. Now then, if you're looking at your knees, you've collapsed in your neck, make sure you're looking between your thumbs. Then I want you to feel that you're lifting and pushing your chest up away from the mat. So we're not here, we're not dropped down into the mat, we're lifting up and engaged across the back of the shoulders. Take a little breath and just feel that you're lifting your belly button up, it's not just hanging down to the mat. And then we're going to slowly extend 1 foot away, keeping the toe just in contact with the ground and keeping the hips nice and level. Then bring that foot back down. Take an inhale, exhale, change to the other leg. Really concentrate on how still your back is. So I want you to imagine that there's a tray of glasses on your back and they're going to stay there. If you want to make it harder, just pop a little lift in. Don't lift too high, literally half a foot to a foot off the ground. Exhale onto the other one. So we're doing this for several reasons. It's a great strengthening move, but it's also really good for putting a bit of pressure on your wrists. And we need to weight bear on our wrists. Let's do 2 more. Nice and simple. Exhaling away, still in the back. Last one. Exhale away. Now sit back and just let your wrists just have a little bit of a rotation. Softening through the wrists. Then we're going to come up and over the other way. Right. So remember you've got 2 sides. So we're going to do our side moves now the other way. We need to do exactly the same checks. We're looking that our feet are level, that we can see them. We're nice and stacked. We're popping the hand down in front. We're just lengthening the spine down the mat. If this is uncomfortable, remember you can just cradle and hold your head a little. Now drawing in your stomach muscles, you're just going to bend your bottom leg. So remember, if you want to make it harder, keep that leg straight. And we're coming into our top leg lifts. So we're really working all these ligaments in the hips. We're lifting up and down. Nice little strengthening work. We're going to do 2 more. And on the second one, you're just going to bring your leg to hip height. So not too high. Stabilise it here. We're going to exhale to draw that leg forward. Inhale as you scoop it back. Now think about how still you are in your body. Your shoulders should be nice and still. Your back shouldn't be arching or over bending. We're staying nice and stable in our supporting hand. And it's a really good stretch down the back of your hamstrings as well. Let's do 2 more. So we're not doing too many today. Remember, this is an introduction. So we want to be nice and gentle. And draw those knees in. Nice little knee hug, allow your hips to bend. And we're just going to pop the arms out in front and we're going to go into one of those nice chest openers again. Take the top arm up and over. Take a breath here and close it up. You should hopefully be able to get your arm right down to the ground behind you, but don't worry if you can't. Doesn't matter even if you just come up to here. Or if you come all the way over. Ooh, knock the mirror on me. Close it back. Okay, we're going to come up to seated now. So, pushing yourself up to a seated position. We're going to do a bit of work focusing on our spine. We're also going to do a bit of stomach work. When you're seated, some people find this really uncomfortable, and that's okay. If you do find that your thighs get a bit sore or the ligaments over your hips get sore, don't worry about it. It will get better. If it's uncomfortable, just get yourself a small block to sit on, or perhaps a little pillow, because if you lift the hips up, it will just release the pressure a little bit. So we're just going to think about these sit bones, that are bony bit underneath your glutes that you can feel, and we're trying to sit them level on the mat. Just take a moment to lift and lengthen up through your spine. So again, like somebody's just tugging out the crown of your head. Slide your shoulders down your back. Now this is the position I want your spine to be in, okay? So in a minute I'm going to turn onto my side and show you. I don't want a collapsed back. So I want you to lift nice and tall, shoulder blades slid down. Now if you can keep this, lengthen your legs out. If that makes you collapse the lower back, please rebend and relift. Okay, this is what I'm interested in. So depending on your level of flexibility will depend on what you do with your legs. Pulling up tall, just take your thumbs and just rest them on your chest. Slide your shoulder blades away from your ears. You want a lovely big gap here. When you're ready, just take a rotation through the waist. So from your belly button to the mat is going to be perfectly still. And you're wrapping your ribs around in one direction. Pull back to the centre, then we're going to go the other way. Wrapping the ribs around the other way. Keep those hips lovely and level. Okay, we're going to do 2 more each side. Exhaling, inhaling back, exhaling over. Be careful your shoulders aren't lifting. If you're starting to feel it a little bit over the front of your thighs, just give your legs a little shake. We're working all our postural muscles here. Last 2. Centre. Exhale, rotate. So if you're starting to feel that, it's very tiring sitting in this position, just relax the legs, let everything soften, have a little bit of movement, then come back to that lovely lengthened spine. So again, depending on where you have your legs, we're going to have a little forward fold now. So if you're not flexible, this is probably everybody's least favourite position. So we're going to just rest our hands on our thighs. Take a deep breath, and as you exhale, just slide your hands forward, look down to the legs and just have a really small stretch. So here, we're not too folded forward, just a nice rounding through the back. Then just slowly restack yourself. Now imagine that you're slotting your back up against a brick wall. We're going to go a little further this time. Exhale forward, reach the hands a little bit further forward, look down towards the knees. Breathe here, I know it's not comfortable. And restack. Okay, you can either stay there or we're going to release the hands out in front. So now we're going to imagine somebody's got hold of our fingertips. Somebody's slung a rope around our waist. Somebody's pulling that rope backwards whilst the other person's pulling your fingers forwards. So it's a little bit of a torture position. We're going to peel forwards, looking down between the knees. Keep your shoulder blades down your back. And we're folding right from that belly button. Take a big deep breath here. Then slowly restack. And again, we're placing our spine up against that brick wall, lifting tall at the top. Have you got it in you to do one more? Let's have a go. Exhaling forward. Somebody softly pulling on your fingertips. Somebody else is pulling that rope around your belly button, scooping the belly button in. Breathe into the stretch. And restack. As you restack, allow your arms to come down by your sides, and we're bending our knees. Right, so that's a nice bit of sparring work. We're going to just focus back on the stomach now. A little bit of core work. Take hold of just behind your knees, nice bend in the knees, and just tuck your tailbone under, opening over the shoulder blades, pulling in the belly button, little stretch, and lift back up. Take the inhale, and we're going to do that one more time. Exhale, tuck the tailbone under, round over the spine, look down at the knees, stretch over your shoulder blades, lift back up. Now we're going to release the hands out. Make sure you stay soft in your shoulder blades and just take your shoulders behind your hips. That's all you're doing. It's a really small movement, but the minute you do that, you'll feel your stomach muscles firing. What I don't want is really tighten the shoulders. The shoulders need to be down and soft, then lift back up. So depending on how that felt, depends on how deep you take the C-curve. If that felt fairly easy, you can come down a little lower. Try and have nice soft thighs so these aren't overactivating. Don't worry if they are, that will get better. Lift back up. We're going to do 2 more. Exhaling into the curve, drawing the belly button in, really deep in towards the spine. Don't forget about your pelvic floor. Come back up. Leave it at that, or you can do 1 more with me. C curve in. If you've never done Pilates before, you'll be using lots of muscles and ligaments that you don't always use, okay? Don't worry if you get the odd shakes. And we're sitting back up. Right, we're going to roll down to the mat for our last move. So, bring yourself back down to your mat, and we're instantly coming back into this neutral spine position that we started in. Everything's hip width, hips are up to the ceiling, nice little pocket of air under the base of the back. Tuck your shoulder blades underneath you. Pop your hands on your hips. Right, so we're just going to have a little bit of hip mobility to finish on. It's really good to keep our hips nice and mobile and also nice and strong. So you're going to take your leg to tabletop. So remember in this good strong position, knees just above the hip. We're going to have some toe taps. Now I want you to focus on the other leg remaining still. And we're just moving our thigh and our hip socket. So what you're not doing is bending your knee. So when you come back, don't do this. Okay, this doesn't really work much. Exhale away, inhale back. And I'm focusing on keeping the other leg still and stable, whilst lots of mobility is running in this side of the hip. We're now going to keep this leg at tabletop, and we're going to have a hip opener. So we're going to open the leg to the side, whilst keeping your hips nice and level on the mat. Now you might find that you don't have much movement there. Don't worry if you don't. It's more important that you're under control of the opening than you have a huge hip opener and you sort of roll off your mat. Okay, let's do 1 more. Exhale, open. Inhale back. Pop that foot down. Right, we're going to swap to the other side. Exhale your left leg up. Same thing, so we're just starting with our toe taps. This leg's nice and still. This hip's stabilised, so it's not moving. And all the movement's coming from this hip and this thigh. Exhaling away, inhaling back. 2 more, then we're going to do the hip openers. And what's interesting here is most people will find it easier one side than the other, because we're not as loose in each side of our hips. So you might find that you're a little bit freer this way, or it might feel a little bit tighter or a little bit harder. Exhale and open, keep this side still. Inhale, closed. 1 more. It's a tough move. Exhale, open. Inhale, closed. Then you're going to draw your knees in, 1 at a time into your knee hug position. We're just going to allow the back to have a little stretch. A little bit of flexion running through the back. You can just rock your hips around if you want to. Take a couple of nice deep breaths here. Then we're going to lengthen out. So we're coming into this full body stretch. Opening up over those hips, lengthening through the fingertips. And just have that nice stretch running right down your stomach. Take a couple of nice deep breaths here. Well done. So you've completed our basic level Pilates session. I hope you got on well with it. If you enjoyed it, please do subscribe to my channel. There's lots of other workouts on there and more challenging workouts if you feel that you want to progress a little bit higher. Thank you for watching.